Good afternoon, Hotline.
Hi, Mayor. It's Kevin Peer.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, good.
First of all, just preface this call by saying I give you a lot of credit for putting yourself out there and debating these things publicly. I think you do a good job. I really do help the best interest of the city. Although we disagree on this, and we talked very briefly this morning and agreed to politely debate this on the air, so I just want to let people know, I think the last gentleman pretty on target with how I feel that this property belongs to the taxpayers and it should be sold to the highest bidder. We have two successful businesses who will both put that property to good use. Neither one of us are going to go out of business if we don't get that property. And it's, you know, I'm a taxpayer in the city of Watertown. I just received a property tax bill for $5,000. And as a taxpayer, it's very aggravating when something like this comes up and we feel like one business is being favored over another, getting a sweetheart deal, an inside deal, when the other business isn't even allowed to bid on it. I've upped the ante on it, and I've said publicly, I will pay more than I offered at public auction. And, you know, I've listened to your position on the radio, and I guess one of my biggest problems is where Friendly's buys this, and they choose not to do the expansion. Then what?
I think it was contingent on them getting the permitting and so on to do this. I'm unclear as to whether, as to how much can be done with that property, because you're going to get the DEC involved with it, and they aren't. You know, usually the, you know, facilitating is not their middle name and so on. So because of the topography of it and the drainage ditch and easement and all of that. So
yeah. Well, I just, you know, I think
I don't think there's ever going to be a structure on that parcel.
I don't think anybody had intentions of putting a structure. I think it's to expand our property for parking.
Right.
But I think, you know, I'll speak for myself. As a taxpayer, I find it troubling when government gets involved with private industry, and I think it creates so many problems that we see every day. And I would say to all the taxpayers that are listening, if you believe your taxes are too high, if you believe that this money should go back into the fund and they should get as much as they can for this property, you need to speak up to the mayor and to the city council and make a phone call and show up at the meeting.
Right.
And if you don't, then you have no right to complain about your taxes.
Well, and people are certainly welcome to do that between now and next Monday when the actual vote would occur.
Why are you against putting this out for public auction?
I would say because, well, first of all, the original, this was not a parcel that we recently took for tax sale and then just went up as became available. This thing had sort of languished for years. They had made a request some weeks ago. Unfortunately, that request was not forwarded to the city council. And in the interim period, now you would become involved. And now, I'm not sure when your interest in that property started. My read on it is that given its location and given from talking to the neighbors and given Friendly's plans for it, it's the highest and best use for that property to accommodate their expansion within the city. Now, you know, I know you've got property that stretches behind Friendly's, and according to them, you had offered that to them to sell them that land.
Well, they had approached me at one point about that land.
Right, and you weren't able to reach an agreement. Price was an issue, I guess, and so they told me they chose to move in this direction, and you know, I don't have a problem with it.
I guess.
But I've got to tell you, sir, one thing. Obviously, you've got strong feelings on it, and the previous caller from the town of Watertown does too. So far, I haven't really received much feedback from the public, and if folks want to do that, we do have a meeting next Monday, and you know, they can certainly call members of council between now and then.
Would you be willing to give out the council's names and phone numbers on the air so people have them? So if they feel this way, they can...
Well, they're all in the phone book. There's Roxanne Burns, Joe Butler Jr., Jeff Smith, and Peter Clough. I'll leave it to people to look them up themselves, but I believe, last I looked, they're all listed.
Did you know if Jeff Smith has changed his position because he had voted against...
I don't know. He wasn't at last night's meeting.
Right. Well, I appreciate you giving me the time. I appreciate you putting yourself out there and debating this publicly. I think that's very honorable of you. And I would just encourage the taxpayers, if you disagree with me, that's fine. That's your right. If you agree with me, time to stand up and let your representatives know how you feel. This is our property. It's not their property. It's the taxpayers' property. My position is simple.
Right.
The maximum dollar amount for that property.
All right. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mr. Fear. Bye now. Good afternoon.